Britain's soccer chiefs to talks at number 10 to try to stamp out the kind of violence that disrupted last night's cup tie at Luton. 31 people were injured when Millwall fans went on the rampage before, during and after the match. In court today, one fan was sent to a detention centre for 3 months, another got a suspended sentence and a £750 fine. The Football Association have been asked to send a report to Mrs Thatcher. The Home Secretary has called for a police report. Luton, who won the FA Cup tie 1-0, say they won't play Millwall at home again. The police have admitted they weren't prepared for the number of Millwall fans who turned up.
The first batch of Millwall fans began arriving on commuter trains as early as 4:30, but the bulk of visiting supporters came on a series of football specials, which arrived just before 6. This one was badly vandalised with an estimated £45,000 worth of damage. By 6:30 there was a big crowd of visiting fans outside the Kenilworth Road ground waiting for the gates to open. 15 minutes later they stormed one of the turnstiles and thousands poured in without paying. At 7:15, even before the game started, they were clambering out of the visitors' stand and into the home stands. 14 minutes after kick-off, the referee halted play as more and more Millwall supporters spilled onto the pitch. It was during the next 25 minutes that the worst violence occurred, with police and fans fighting running battles. At 8:25, order was restored and the rest of the match went ahead. After the final whistle at 10:10, the Millwall fans stayed behind and vandalised the seating and the hoardings.
Luton Football Stadium this morning after some of the worst soccer violence the country has seen. 8,000 Millwall fans, far too many for the area allotted to them, spilled into a stand reserved for Luton fans, and the trouble began.
What started the trouble last night?
It's just the Millwall. They got on the pitch, right? And the coppers just let them go into the maple, let them come into where we were.
But there wasn't enough room for them, for all their fans.
No. I know, but they should have followed that before. They should have knocked him out of the ground, said there was no more room. You know what I mean? Or at least clear the space, but instead of just putting them in there where the Luton supporters are already. They should have cleared the space first, got the Luton supporters out of there, then put them in.
It was terrifying, just seeing them all charging down the field. It's like something out of Zulu.
Did you see any policemen being hit?
Yeah, there was one policeman laying on the floor and some Millwall fan was putting the boot in his face. It was terrible.
After the match, the fans rampaged through adjoining streets, smashing windows.
Everything was quiet, then all of a sudden
the windows went. Upstairs.
That went through your window?
That went upstairs, and
that one.
That and that bit down there come through the bottom one. The two goes at the bottom.
Them two at the bottom.
I've been here 50 years. 50 years I've been here, and that's the first time.
I heard them saying, we lost. Come on, start, grab anything, break everything and break everything you see in front of you.
I went to the gate to try and get assistance after the car windscreen had gone. Several windows had gone in the street. And as I got to the gate, I got hit over the head with an iron bar.
The cost of last night's soccer riot could top £100,000. Damage to the Millwall fans' train and the bill for transport police travelling with them is put at about £47,000. The police haven't yet counted the cost of policing the game, reinforcements and overtime, but the Police Federation estimate that'll run to between £20,000 and £30,000. Luton Town themselves saw seats, turnstiles and hoardings destroyed. The bill around £15,000. And in Luton, damage to property and cars is so far estimated at more than £10,000. The chief executives of both Luton and Millwall were called in for talks this afternoon with the Sports Minister, Mr McFarlane. He told them it was time to end soccer violence. They said they wanted government action.
We want to find out from the Football Association precisely what they intend to do about those clubs in the world of football who have a habitual record whereby some of their followers are causing far too much violence, which has become wholly unacceptable to people, and which exasperates many, many people. And yesterday was a classic example. So I want a report from them within a week about what their actions will be.
In the long term, the problem has to be tackled, and in particular by the government, on the social disease, why young people behave in the way they do these days, and they're getting younger and younger, and that is the problem that has to be tackled.
What's your reaction to the fans and the behaviour that you saw last night? Well, the same reaction that any other football club would have, one of sheer disgust. I mean, you must appreciate that our average crowd is about 5,000. Probably half of those were there last night. Those who were there, the regular supporters, would be as disgusted as anyone else. I mean, it wasn't so much Millwall or Luton losing last night, it was football, and football is bigger than both clubs.
Millwall have a history of violence dating back to 1934, when the soccer authorities closed down their ground for 2 weeks. Since then, there have been 3 more shutdowns, warnings and fines.
Millwall Football Club draws its support from London's Dockland. Much of the land around the ground is derelict. The area has a tough, forbidding reputation, one it shares with the football supporters who've a sad history of violence. 7 years ago, the crowd invaded the pitch during a cup tie with Ipswich. As a result, the ground was closed for 4 weeks. Millwall Stadium has been closed by the league on 3 occasions since 1934 because of crowd misconduct. The high level of unemployment in the area has been cited as one reason young men turn to violence for excitement. The environment, poor housing and a lack of facilities have also been blamed. But the man who's been reporting on Millwall for 21 years says he's now had enough.
It was absolutely sickened me last night, and as I say, if I never see another soccer match after last night, it wouldn't worry me.
After 21 years of reporting football?
Yes, because a club like that doesn't deserve it. It's got such a magnificent chairman and a wonderful manager and a terrific staff. It deserves much better. Instead of being a night to enjoy, it became a night of horror.
The Prime Minister has now asked for answers to the problems at Cold Blow Lane. Paul Davis, ITN, Millwall.